excuse me. I think this is working. Let me just touch base with my Streamlabs and make sure everything's running. Been a buttload of technical issues today, guys. But we are here. Also, for some reason, Streamlabs does not want me to be able to actually hear the audio well enough to do a test. So we're gonna have to do this kind of janky. Give me a second. Yeah, my professional opinion, that game audio is too loud. I'll move that down. We're gonna bring it way down. Way down. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, hey guys. Welcome to Coffee Break. A little belated, admittedly. I think I left you on the intro screen for like 10 minutes longer than I wanted to. I apologize for that, but Spectrum, my damn wireless went out, guys. It went out again. I've been having intermittent outages from like 11 CST to 2 CST. I really haven't a clue what the problem is. I've done very little research on it, admittedly, but I'm almost certain it backs up further than the router. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. Could be nothing. I'm going to take it a little bit more seriously from now on, especially since it's right in the middle of streaming time. I'm still going to have to wrap up at 12. I have to go and do some stuff with escape rooms at 12:45, and I haven't really eaten breakfast, so I hope you'll forgive me that sin. Anyway, this is Bastion. I'm tabbing out right now to read our land acknowledgement. So, we acknowledge that in Milwaukee, we live and work on traditional Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee homelands along the southwest shores of Michigami, part of North America's largest system of freshwater lakes, where the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Connecticut rivers meet, and the people of Wisconsin's sovereign Anishinaabe, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Oneida, and Mohican nations remain present. So, I'm Ren. I'm a master's student in English at UWM, going into my second year now. And this is Bastion, Supergiant Games' beloved indie darling. We've been playing this on and off on Coffee Break for a while, and paying unique attention to some of its important story beats as well as mechanics.
The wilds ain't so scary now, are they?
Let's get the rest of the audio in line. I love listening to all the stuff in this game, but God, right now it's a little loud. Let's bring these ones down. All right, so I believe today we have done our due diligence and we have done as many upgrades as we can reasonably do. I also believe that, yeah, we're doing pike and bow right now. I'm gonna do pike and musket. That's kind of a favorite of mine. We'll grab brush or sweep.
Want to keep the wilds at bay? Pack yourself a musket and a pike. What else is there to say?
And looks like we've talked to
He ain't all
everybody
that
well
shy.
enough. And that the memorial is about as done. That's why we had the bow. We had the bow for memorial reasons. Extra cash. You have to use something well enough in this game that it becomes part of the memorial, which is itself kind of interesting. The physical history of the object on its own isn't enough, and having it isn't enough. What is important is that you continue to engage with it well enough and accomplish those achievements that they become memorialized. I don't know. I don't really know where to go with that thought, but I think it's interesting. So we were working on improving the guns to do our best to try and finish the range. I can't remember where we were at with that, so let's give it a check. It's just been a fair little bit since we got into this. Something greasy, that's what it is. Yeah, we just removed scatter, and then we need to increase either damage or reload speed, probably damage, to get that challenge done. I believe we also haven't finished the what is it? Yes, the trapper shingle, because I just have a hard time doing that challenge without auto-targeting. Let's go to Point Lemaine.
Point Lemaine's grand rail once brought the riches of the wild right to our doorstep.
The Graham Rail is literally one of my favorite levels in this game. I love Spike and Spike and a Rail. I think it's like one of the best songs in this entire discography, and this level is probably my favorite in the
richest
game.
City in the world. 2 words. Point Lemaine.
Richest city in the world. I take for granted that Ceylondia is a government. I suppose it's more of a city-state.
What's gonna happen right here?
Oh man, I am rusty. That's all right. We can take some hits early. God, that thing sure did come at the worst possible time. And bounce. Yep. Okay. Yep, I am rusty as hell. Wow, this is some bottom tier gameplay today.
The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown.
Yes. Oh, we get the carbine. I hope to God that replaces.
Where they left off. Blam.
I love
Just
the
like
carbine.
The days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check.
Here's a gun that I will literally never use for the rest of the game that I adore. I love the aiming on this thing, that you slowly decrease the scatter. There he is, dead. Nice.
Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done.
And prep means you can kind of walk around the corner with it if you want to. Honestly, I could probably bounce this guy and kill him without even needing to do anything else. Oh man, yeah, this level is brutal, but it's super fun. I love the idea of doing this kind of slow railway build. It really makes a lot of sense, of course, in this context.
Not only is it still there, it still works.
We gotta be super careful here.
Of course, it's no
these guys
longer
will just absolutely be a pain in the ass.
But it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks.
Ooh, God, I don't know how I pulled that off. There's bounce, nice. That, oh no. I think I can get it with a stick. Yep, I can get it with a stick. Nice. Yeah, oh my God. So, perhaps it's interesting that, like, the art direction on the rail, of course, is that it's not like a powered rail in the traditional sense. It's like a powered rail in that it's a rail with, like, these huge fucking ropes on the side of it, which I guess fits the kind of majority of the aesthetic of Bastion's, like, you know, Bastion's kind of direction and design. Its weapons obviously can be a little bit more. There's something about this that almost reminds me of the bellows more than anything. And I'll kind of explain what that is later. I think you might get some kind of special bonus if you manage to do it without letting any of the enemies get past. I don't remember exactly, but I'll probably heal off of that. Where Whiskey's great, but I'm not about to risk my life for it. By the way, I can see you, chat, and I will respond to things as they kind of come across. I'm a little rusty. It's been a little bit since I've streamed, but I am here. And we're gonna make this work.
It takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers, coughing fungus everywhere.
Yeah, grenades definitely gonna fly with me if I'm not careful. Yeah, so, you know, the rail is interesting because it aesthetically is positioned weirdly as far as the technology of this world. It reminds me a lot of the bellows. The kind of weird low-tech, high-tech, like Weird West kind of stuff that appears on occasion in Bastion, as opposed to something like the Mancer Cannon, which is, you know, a nuke, right? I mean, a society that can build nukes can build some pretty crazy stuff, and kind of yet, you know, we see... Damn, wow, I am just rusty as shit. I'm slow and rusty. Gotta get all that rust off. Oh, the dead flowers. I forgot about these guys. There we go.
Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple.
And I'm good. Heal generously, because my continues are shot. Nice.
Of course, the Grand Rails seem much more fighting than bygone times.
Nice, and here's something.
Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Selandian War.
Wow, I forgot about that. I forgot that this is where the kind of Uran-Selandian conflict occurs, which is also kind of interesting, right? It occurs on the center of commerce, or around the center of commerce, as opposed to, like, a different kind of center. Yet it continues to position, the game continues to position Selandia really interesting, I find. And not in a good way. Again, I don't feel like this game is...
forefathers decided to mix it up.
I don't feel like it's uncommon in any way for this game to critique Selandia. I'm paying a lot of attention to, like, the specific wording, I think, today. And part of that's because I'm exhausted, and it's...
Imagine if Kid never got the message there at Point Lemaine.
That was rough.
Few places steeped in history and sweat so much as this.
So we'll do it this time.
Point Lemaine.
Without failing.
If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here.
Yeah, so the center of commerce, as far as trade, I should say,
the city line
is the center where the wilds get tamed, right? Is the place where the war starts.
The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown.
Which is interesting for a lot of reasons. It makes perfect sense from a world building perspective. I'm not saying it's like bizarre or odd in any way. If anything, it's kind of expected. But it adds more context to this world and its conflicts.
Blam. Just like my fighting days. A gun like that can even put the wilds in check.
Also, it appears that Rux may have once been a part of the Rangers that wielded the carbine, which is neat.
Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done.
Oh hey, I missed this guy the last time around, so that's good. We're not missing things this time.
Whole place shudders in a fit.
I will say one of the things that I really miss about playing newer Supergiant games, as opposed to going through all these old ones,
works.
is that the old ones do not have the the graceful fluidity of a game like of Hades or something like that, right?
Just as long as he can stay
which is a shame.
Trouble on the
Oh my god, okay, come on, we got this. Yep. All right, so we killed all those guys. We should be able to counter, and then pop. There we go. Next one's up here. We should be able to poke him. Stick. Nice. I love the pike. The pike is like absolutely one of the two best weapons in the game. You'll see me go into like hardcore mode once I get the mortar too. Nice. Cleared that.
Kid don't want to miss this train.
Okay, we're in Where Whiskey now. There's the kill. Okay, we're gonna have to swirl past that. Guess I can't hit it. It's okay. Might be able to just guess it.
So much as
yeah, look at that.
Slip by.
That was pretty cool. I gotta hand it to myself. I didn't think I was gonna pull off that. Oh god.
Settled in like they own the place.
That scared me. Forgot about the lunkhead here. Can you guys tell I'm tired as hell? Some weeks are better than others, man. Some weeks you're like, oh yeah, streaming. And some weeks you're like, oh god, what am I doing? That really is what it feels like it comes down to sometimes, I swear. Sorry if I'm taking a breather here. Alright. Let's go. So wallflower here, we should be able to pop pretty easy.
Takes
those things
fancy
will just
footwork on
delete
the
your
rail,
health, though.
what with wallflowers, coughing fungus everywhere.
I'm gonna try and land it.
Only one way to cure a cough like that.
I would not want Rux to be a doctor, or my doctor for that matter. I'm not about to take a bullet to the head because I have a lot of a cough or something. Okay. I think we. Oh, jeez, not good. All right, there we go, and bounce that one. There it is, and I should be able to line this shot up. There it is. Awesome. Now he's got to get rid of this dead flower. It's interesting to me that like there's an incredible persistence. Like we talked about the incredible persistence of the wilds,
split open like a rotten
kind of
pineapple.
previously. That industry tends to break down in this game post-nuclear disaster, but obviously the wilds have kind of simply just
Of course, the
reclaimed.
Grand Rails seen much more fighting by that times.
But I think it really comes to a head in some of these particular
Near on
chapters.
50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Selandian War.
Nice, there we go. Got some sharp for the machete, which just means more bleed. God forbid I stay on the world. I'm so glad it doesn't kill you when you fall off the world. This game would be so unplayable if that was the case. I wonder if they tested that in an earlier build or something. It's really interesting to find out. Let's try it.
It was right here that Zolf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up.
So back to that mixing it up with language. I think it's just kind of a turn of phrase here, but it does add a sort of pizzazz to it that I wouldn't expect from what by all accounts has been described as a kind of an armed rebellion. I mean, I don't really know. Actually, I take that back. It hasn't really been. We haven't really understood what the Ura-Selandian War was up to this point. I think maybe I'm projecting a bit of the later.
Okay, so maybe we
parts
didn't
of
get their
this.
sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing.
There it is, yeah.
That was bad.
Didn't get the sign off. Interesting. Started building on their land without any clear indication that it was going to happen. Yeah, not a good thing. Also, this lunkhead is mean. Wow, they put this guy in a mean place. I will just drink until I die, though. So I'm gonna die pretty fast. There, we've led him back to a place where I can maneuver a little bit. There it is. Cool. Now, where's this other little sprout? God, I wish he would. God, okay. I'll wait for him this time. There we go, and
The rail must have
There it
shook
is.
the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs.
yeah, probably. Yeah, how nice of Ceylondian just to build on top of the Ura's fucking houses and not mention it.
Well, the
Some
rail
New York
won't
City
last
kinda
much
shit.
longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though.
Yep, so now we gotta get through all
Rotten
this
wood
stuff.
there on the rails turned it into Swampweed Central.
I don't know if we hit anything with that. I want to believe that we did.
Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While shooting a genuine registered army carbine? While choking on swampweed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun.
Yeah, I would describe this as hard. There we go. Don't know how to do that. Definitely did not. Alright, cool. We have more shit, though. Shit, I should not have done that. Oh god, this sucks. I just got
Then
pushed
at
right through him.
last, it's the end of the line.
Cool, we made it.
He'll be picking swampweed out of those
Oh
boots for
god,
days.
why? Drink that and pop him. I'll take that. Thank you guys for the tonics, holy crap. Yeah, that was pretty rough. I love this level, but
Turns out he's got company up at the rail station. waiting for him.
Oh boy, that is a lot of fucking projectiles. Okay, I should be able to line this shot up and then just crack. Take it. I can kind of shoot him off screen if I'm lucky. Yeah, there we go, and...
Not just another wallflower, a pincushion, mind you. At first, he thinks it's Zolf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man.
Yep.
Then wham.
It's kind of incredible that...
When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there.
So we pick up the note. It's written by Zolf. And it's written in the Ura language, which means that only Zia is going to be able to read it.
Well, what's a kid to do?
And we gotta go.
He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note.
And, like, again, to get to kind of the interesting dynamics here, right? The Ura Ceylani War starts there. And then, you know, we get the note from Zolf, essentially, that it's war from there as well. So there's kind of rhythmic things going on here. Looks like we have the pot, which is pretty big.
It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place.
All right. So now that we have that, we now get another thing to upgrade. I'm going to take the foundation. We're going to do the distillery
Just the
next.
occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve.
Private reserve, we have falling malt, which is pretty good, but black rye, which is also good. Life wine, which is insane. I have been taking up to this point, fetching fizz. I'm gonna switch over to life wine because life wine is insane.
Life wine so rich, they say it's brought men back from the brink for one last taste. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking.
And now we can do Zia's challenge as well. We'll do it with 0 idols, and then we'll do it again at 5 if we get 5 unlocked. But for now, 0 is just fine. I'm probably going to stick with the musket pike combo, just because it's kind of what I'm used to.
Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him.
Yep. So now we have to deal with a lot more Ura. Honestly, the Ura are the most formidable foes in this entire piece when you start fighting them, and they're also kind of beyond the most tragic.
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zolf.
Yep. And now he's off. I don't think she's actually off, but she's just kind of stayed here. But let's turn those off and do us some extra work. We can't finish something nasty quite yet. I don't have enough money for that either. And those are the two things we have to upgrade. As much as I want to upgrade other items, those two are just what's on the menu.
Down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head.
Let's do who knows where. I love these sections of the game, and this will be a great way to wrap up the stream.
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this.
Yep. Let's talk about Zia. Let's learn more about the other people who are with us. Pike and Mortar, good combo. Alright, I believe we're facing the wilds for this one.
What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once.
Best thing we can do is take as little damage as possible, use as few tonics as possible. Actually, we're going to get a lot of tonics to get through this. The easy mode on this is really easy. And the thing is you only really get extra bonuses for doing it at the 5s. So there's not much point in doing it with one idol or something
Once
like
there
that.
was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Ceylandia.
Yeah, I feel like the first... You could probably get through the first set of enemies in this game without really learning how the counter works super well.
The folks were orphaned
doing-
in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals.
Doing the second kind of set with the wilds and not knowing how the shield works would be a pretty big death sentence. Also, I have this. Why am I not using it?
Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out.
It's also maybe a little fucked up, guys. Keeping people away from, you know, wherever they want to travel because we're worried about
Mama passed away from
them passing
birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father.
You know, I'd love to do a historical analysis of the Ura and, like, Zealandia and kind of its position relative to, like, Japanese internment. Because the more we kind of play through this game, the more I see that parallel from my
so he
loose
got a job
understanding.
working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him.
And that might be wrong, you know, I've had a rough go of trying to figure out exactly what the analogy that's being made with the Ura is, and I don't want to misidentify because I think misidentifying it can be pretty rude. And, like,
The father
that sort of
told her
reading
nothing
isn't
of her
necessarily my
heritage.
specialty.
He told her nothing of the mancers. It's for your own good, he said.
But it to me, I wonder if there's a historical analysis to be done, looking at kind of internment and that sort of stuff.
She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs.
And Brux's narration, as always, is fantastic. Although, you know, in retrospect,
At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city.
man. And part of me, you know, really wishes that it was Zia telling this story here instead of Rux, but I also understand that as a matter of, like, the game's kind of narrative climax, it's very important that it's not Zia
One
telling
young
that
man
story.
stood up for her.
I'm
so
not
he
sure
let it
that
bleed.
payout,
He knew much of her
now that
heritage,
I've played the
and she grew
game
fond
once
of
or
him.
twice, is worth the not having her telling her own story thing, especially when it is so flawed, you know. And Rux, you know, well, the whole thing with Rux and Zulf is that Zulf views Rux as kind of a symbol of Zealandia and the last living remnant of the shit that civilization has done to her. So having
The young man
him,
convinced her to take him to a family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals.
so you know, I think like having Rux narrate this maybe isn't the like best choice, but also I understand why they made that call.
When the young man greeted her father in
Yeah.
Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out.
Oh, 2 long heads is rough. I want to keep Where Whiskey up for a second, though.
The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult.
I also wish the targeting system in this game was a little better. It can get a little shaky at times, I swear. Sometimes I really am not aiming for the thing that that the kid focuses on.
It was then that she decided to escape.
That's alright.
The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals. They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag. then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
It's interesting to me that they're using scumbags for trash removal, because I understand them to be kind of like, if not a part of a people, than wild animals, but it's difficult to understand, and Ceylon clearly already is kind of exploitive in a lot of ways. So it's one more thing to add to the list, I suppose, in a lot of ways. And maybe I shouldn't be shocked by any of it, you know? Nice to clear all those guys out, and then I'll just do this, and drink that, and let's get to it. I should remember I have a musket that can clear fodder, too.
The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals.
Or is the absolutely fucking stuck.
She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free. Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
Yep, I absolutely can. Whiskey is insane.
And deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand.
Oh god, I have to kill myself. Oh god. Yeah, and right at the end of this story, you know, that's really incredibly thematically appropriate. Wow. Because I am, you know, I haven't chosen what my role is in this yet, but I am also a symbol of
the next day,
Ceylondia, you know.
The den turned to ash. The girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her.
Yeah, wow. I love these little sections of the game. I kind of wish we were playing this game through Zia's perspective sometimes, just because it's such a fascinating story.
His world's still in pieces, just the way he left it.
But I mean, yeah, it's hard to figure out, negotiate all of the positionalities of different characters and all of this, and I think that's kind of more or less the point. It's not meant to be easy to negotiate these things, and I think the game knows that, and I think Supergiant knows that, and I do think that the choice that the game gives you in the end is kind of a non-choice with everything all considered properly. But we'll get to that later.
Harder to find.
And we'll get more to the Mansers later because they become increasingly more important. So we're going to finally go to Culford Cauldron, which is a really easy level, but it's where we're going to get the bellows. We are also going to go to Trigger Hill,
where the Army's elite became the finest marksmen in the land.
And we are going to do our best to get the Trigger Hill stuff, just like we tried to get the other stuff. I believe this is another one that benefits majorly
from the best of them trained on Trigger Hill. The Triggers believed they were nothing without their rifles. Nothing beats the feel of shooting a Ceylonian army carbine.
So goal here is just do not waste a shot, basically.
Sometimes you had to take care to steady your shot. The Triggers had clearance to modify their guns however they chose. Some felt the course was too easy, so the Triggers spiced things up a bit.
Yeah, you really want to like modify your gun however you feel is ideal for this one, but ideally we can just not miss a shot.
Load through that course like
it
was nothing.
Easy. Yep. I mean that's good design as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's It was just simply do not miss a shot, and you are good to go. And I can't complain about a challenge like
The
that.
Ceylandian army would
Honest to
have
God.
recruited him in a flash.
Nice. So now we have another one of the memorials done. We have Dynasty done.
The dynasty, to the families of the city, all reunited.
Reunited in death. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of extra cash, though. Very worth doing. Because now we can tune our gun, finally. We want
You don't
bolt
want to
seek
know
out
what he did to that thing. But believe me, it works.
And then we want to do something greasy as well. We're going to want
He
extra
made a
damage.
right comfortable bed for all those bullets.
And the thing is we're not going to be able to do much else there. Now, I could dump the rest of the money into something pointy. And we could really go somewhere, you know. Or I could tune the scrap musket more. Get greater knockback or greater damage. I will put 1 point into this. I really want that
To
extra
fix a
critical
brusher's
hit
pipe,
chance.
you just need a good length of knife bark.
The one other thing you really need is this weapon can get penetration, and you want pen on this thing. We do have some extra time, and I have finally capped that, oh god, the trapper rifle, the automatic rifle. And that means we can blow through this. So let's do it. Let's blow through trapper shingle with this auto-targeting weapon. Now we just need to release the trigger, and it will target. Literally made this challenge absolutely trivial. Which is good. I mean, this is like the best. Oh god, okay, we're gonna run backwards here. Actually, I'm going to restart the challenge, basically, because right now we just lost because I fell off. Alright, roll. Restart. There we go. Let's do this shit. Also, the repeater is now useful, now that it does auto-targeting. It is just kind of worth putting, like, releasing the bullets, because they will just kind of fly around you until they find a target, which is great. I could also go back and instead of increasing the reload speed, increase the clip size and just have more auto-target bullets, which is not a bad decision. This gun is now broken. I mean, like, it's not like to the point where I would use it in kind of the, like, hardest challenges of the game. But for, like, you know, for clearing ads, it's really good. And it's also just another instance where Supergiant's not afraid to give you something really powerful if you work for it, which is something very true in Hades as well. It's some of the things that they've kind of mastered. There we go.
Master trappers got what they needed for a better hunt.
Yep, there we go. We got the sleeping bullet, which is awesome. Probably won't use it, but we have it.
The trappers would have been impressed with how the kid handled the shingle.
Yeah, by modifying my gun until it's trivial. I suppose that's one way of doing it. So now we want either bullets ricochet on bullets ricochet on contact isn't going to help us, or is going to help us more than penetrations. Penetrations are better for actual
Give
fighting.
those dueling pistols a little extra kick.
You know. So let's give the dueling challenge another attempt. We may well be able to do it now that we've got a couple upgrades on the gun. Not all of the weapons that we'll use require you to do a full upgrade to obviously get these challenges done. Really, the hardest one, I think Z is the auto-targeting. There we go. A little slow on the first draw. Oh, shit. Okay, well, let's restart, actually, if we can. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's do it. Shift to target. There we go. Come on. I might be quiet for this. Should be like 3 more, I think. Yep, so that's about as good as I can do right now. I don't remember what first prize is at. I think it's at, yeah, 700 or more. You know, honestly, let's give it one more shot. We might be able to do it. If I move a little faster, I mean, because we're only 20 off. So, you know, either we're just under where we need to be and I need a little bit more damage, or we are good to go. Honestly, I should set up an auto clicker for this. Would that be too cheap? That might be too cheap. Who's to say how I should play the game, really? Just modify the game code to say I won the game and call it a day. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna show you guys the actual gameplay experience. God, they are freaking me out. I am really hyper-focused here. I'm so glad it comes with an audio cue. Okay, we are now within 100. All right. Yep, so we're just under where we need to be. A little bit more work on those guns and we'll be good to go. I think that was pretty much as fast as I can kill it. So, all right. So let me see how much the next upgrade is going to cost on this. It's going to cost 1,500, which means I basically have 1,000 to play with. So yeah, I want either...
Don't want that thing leaving your hands until you decide it's time.
Yep, that is fucking true. Attacks and stun is great. Faster thrust attacks is insane. I am probably going to take Battle Grip because it is good to have knockback. Knockback is never bad. Let's make sure we have our Shrine Idols turned on. We do. And the next thing on the list of shit to do is to go to Call for Cauldron. Now, we are over time. So I won't be going to Call for Cauldron today. But I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you tuning in. We are going to do the best we can. This one should be an easy one to get, and it's 500 right there. This should be pretty easy. This is also pretty easy. The country just takes time, and the mercy is a very ideologically charged one. Yeah, and I think like the trappers we can get pretty easily as well. Most of these are pretty simple to knock out. I believe this is only half of the ones. I think you get a lot of them in New Game Plus. So we might not get to a lot of them. But trust me, we'll keep plugging through. Thank you for joining me, you guys, on this trip into the unknown. And we'll be back next week. Morgan will be running Coffee Break next week, so you won't get more Supergiant. And then Lunch Zone is Eric this week. I think we're doing more RE8. And for, I believe Ryan has a new show he'll be premiering this Tuesday. And then on Thursday, you can join us for D&DMs. And hopefully the Ludic Society, my own show, will get started up on Fridays pretty soon too. So there's a whole week of content for you to check out. If you are a friend of the channel, and you're getting tired of our sorry asses, then Scholars Play or Looking for Good are great alternatives. And with that, I will pass off into the unknown. Thank you guys so much. And have a lovely, lovely day. Wherever you are in the world. All right? All right.
I dig my hole, you build a wall. I dig my hole, you build a wall. One day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city on a hill. Gonna build that city on a hill. Someday those tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Someday your bird is gonna fly. Gonna build that wall until it's done. Gonna build that wall until it's done. But now you got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong.